The last time I shared 5 chilling horror stories about Labubu dolls, many of you were left wondering the same thing. Why do those dolls smile the way they do? Tonight, we're diving even deeper into the mystery. These are 5 more horrifying tales that will leave you questioning everything. This time, the dolls didn't just smile, they moved on their own. They bled without explanation. They blinked when no one was watching. I'm the Tales Keeper, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss another terrifying story. Let's begin, shall we? Our first story is about the one that blinked. Mina was a content creator who loved filming toy hauls and cute desk setups. Her latest obsession was collecting Labubu dolls. She arranged 5 of them on her shelf, right behind her streaming microphone. Her audience adored them, until one day a comment stopped her cold. Wait, did that doll just blink? Mina laughed it off, assuming it was just a trick of the light. But when she rewatched the footage, her blood turned to ice. At exactly 2:46, her pastel green Labubu doll blinked, smoothly, naturally, like a living eye. She froze the frame, her heart pounding in her chest. The doll's smile had also widened, stretching further than before. This one was different from the others. No factory tag, just a sticker that read, "One of a kind." That night, Mina locked the doll in a drawer, hoping that would be the end of it. The next morning, it was back on the shelf, blinking slowly, its head tilted toward the camera. Our second story is about the one whose eyes kept falling out. Julia was a meticulous collector who only kept dolls in pristine condition. So when the eyes of her rare monochrome Labubu started dropping out, she was furious. She glued them back in with craft glue, but by morning they were on the floor again. She tried stronger adhesives, hot glue, super glue, even epoxy, but nothing worked. Every night, she heard faint plinking sounds on her wooden floor. Every morning, the eyes were scattered, under her bed, near her pillow, in places they shouldn't be. After a week, she gave up and left the doll eyeless. That night, she woke up to something cold and wet pressing against her forehead. She turned on the lamp and saw the doll lying beside her in bed. Its empty socket stared directly at her. Next to her head were 2 glass eyes, but they weren't the doll's. They were green just like Julia's. A single note rested between them, written in shaky letters. "He wants new ones." Our third story is called Room to Room. Evan didn't believe in cursed objects, so he bought a Labubu doll on a dare. It had yellow fur, oversized teeth, and a broken ear, goofy looking but harmless. He placed it in his guest room and forgot about it. The next morning it was on the kitchen counter. Assuming someone had moved it, he put it back and locked the guest room door. The following day, it was sitting on the closed toilet lid in his bathroom. Evan lived alone. On the 3rd night, he sealed the doll in a shoebox, wrapped it in rope, and shoved it under his bed. At 3:21 a.m., he heard scratching across the floor. The box was still there, but the doll wasn't inside. He found it standing in the hallway facing the front door as if waiting for something. Evan moved out within the week. 2 months later, his landlord sent him a photo with a confused message. "Hey, did you leave this?" The doll was back in the living room, smiling at the window. Our fourth story is about the one with the spirit attached. Liz was a genuine medium who ran a spiritual cleansing shop. A client gifted her a Labubu doll as thanks, so she placed it on her altar without thinking much of it. That night, her offerings burned black, her candle split in half, and her pendulum wouldn't stop spinning. She assumed it was interference, until she picked up the doll and heard whispers. Not words, just faint, muffled voices, like they were trapped inside cotton. She performed a reading and cleansed her space, but when she touched the doll, her fingers went numb. The next morning she found strange scratches on her floor. Not random marks, but ancient symbols, binding glyphs. By evening the doll had vanished. But when she went to lock up for the night, it was outside, sitting on her welcome mat, clutching a dried flower from her altar. She burned sage for 7 hours straight. Our final story is about the one that cried blood. Kim was a college student who kept her Labubu dolls on a shelf above her bed. Her favorite was a pale blue one named Emo, with floppy ears and a smug little grin. One night, she woke up to the sound of dripping. She reached up, thinking her ceiling was leaking, but her hand came back wet with blood. When she turned on the lamp, she saw Emo leaning forward on the shelf, his glass eyes streaked with thick crimson trails. She screamed, but her roommate thought it was a prank. The next night it happened again. Her RA told her to get rid of the dolls, so she boxed them up and shipped them home. The next day her mother called, voice trembling. Kim, why is there blood on the box? You might have thought the first stories were just eerie coincidences, whispers in the dark, tricks of the mind. But these new ones? They bleed. They move. They remember. So if you own a Labubu doll, check its location before you sleep, and again when you wake. If it's not where you left it, it never was. I've been the tale's keeper. And if your doll ever cries, shifts, or listens when it shouldn't, it might not be yours anymore. Sleep tight, if it lets you.